Aaron here from Fight IQ, and with the next lesson in our MMA Fundamentals training series, we're going to focus on the open position. Hit the subscribe button and get started. As exciting as the open position is, it carries inherent risks due to the potential of knockout power being generated through uninhibited full summation of force capacity, and is also unable to be exploited in terms of stacking the deck in your favor with gravity and mechanics, as only angles are available to you as a means to create advantageous positions of force disparity. The exception to this is that if you have a reach advantage, you are able to use this form of mechanical force disparity in the open position. However, as reach is an attribute, this blueprint will presume you are of equal or of lesser reach than your opponent. As such, we will aim to move through the open position into the clinch, where we are able to take our opponent down and implement mechanical and gravitational methods of creating force disparity in coordination with angular forms. This tactical approach is best viewed as hunting your opponents rather than fighting them. The jab cross combination serves to draw a defensive maneuver from your opponent. By stepping your rear leg through, you're able to fully commit to the cross while closing distance in order to negate any counter that your opponent will attempt to utilize. Using the momentum of your rear leg step through, you'll be able to effectively break your opponent's balance and take them down with a single leg attack. So the 1-2 is drawing this defense from our opponent right here. Jordan's arms are now up, giving us access to his hips with our lower level shot. Our rear leg step through is going to be this one here, stepping all the way through into what would be a southpaw stance. Now, this is dangerous if done at the wrong time. So we want to do it all the way out, like Israel Adesanya, so away from the striking zone, the pocket, or we want to do it off the back of a punch, like this case here. So by landing that right hand in a strong platform, if we are counted on a half beat, we should be okay. This is going to give us a half beat of time to step that leg through and punch and clutch. So as we continue to progress, we'll see distance closed, moving from the open to the clinch and connecting the hands. So another important detail there, controlling parameters. A very useful tool, a skeletal lock. So a mechanical lock using your bone structure instead of your muscles, so an isometric hold. If your hands weren't connected there, we'd be relying on a prolonged isometric hold to keep the position there. So connecting the hands whenever you can with that lasso, very effective way of setting parameters and keeping them there, where we can now perform our single leg takedown. So we carry on using the momentum we've created from that step through and run the pipe, completing the takedown. Now from here, we've created a gravitational advantage as well as mechanical, having the guard split there. So we might choose to exploit that advantageous force disparity with some ground and pound, or we might continue to make it an even bigger position of force disparity by advancing past our opponent's legs there. The jab cross hook combination serves to draw a defensive maneuver from your opponent. By level changing at the end of the combination, you will evade any attack your opponent counters with on the horizontal plane. This will now present you with a clear line in which to execute your double leg takedown. Again, we can see by attacking Jordan's head, we've drawn a defense. Lifted his elbows up and we've opened up that lower line to the hips once again. By performing a level change at the end of our combination, we can predict that any counter Jordan throws towards our head will miss. So very good movement there. The level change exists entirely in the shoot boxing world and entirely not in the Thai boxing or boxing. Very hard to draw much with the level change without the threat of the takedown. You can see the level change, the penetration step, and we're coming in to that hole that we've created. So here Jordan's actually countering with a left hook by the looks of it, and we're going right under that. So our head was here, but the level change took us off that line. Again, very, very intelligent movement, the level change. Okay, sets a lot of things up. If Jordan had dropped this hand to try and crossface, we could have actually come back with the right hand to his head. So it gives us that high-low option, pawns of the dilemma situation for our opponent. We've taken this penetration step, aiming for the line between his two big toes, and that's going to enable us to keep our head inside of our base. Again, if we were to be countered by a knee or a strike like that, we should be okay, providing we've got that base of support underneath with us. Hands are going to grip behind the knees here, and then we're going to cut our angle at 90 degrees, taking away any possible sprawl defense that our opponent might attempt to utilize. Angle and the double leg takedown. The level change will bring you below the horizontal line of attack that your opponent is most likely utilizing in their attempt to land damaging strikes to your head. By evading your opponent's horizontal strikes, they're extended and unable to block you from bridging the gap and establishing gripping mechanisms via single legs, double legs, or climbing back into the clinch. So we can see this jab thrown to where the head was has missed, and in doing so opened up the opponent's frame. That's going to allow us to bridge through the dangerous pocket range, where force is produced to great effect with the ankle, knee, and hip all involved, and get to his hips, establish the clinch, which is less risky for both of us, and we can start to employ mechanical means of creating advantage along with angles, eventually hitting our takedown and stacking the deck in our favor. The parry works by knocking our opponent's strike offline on the horizontal plane. It's going to enable us to advance forwards through the horizontal line without the threat of damaging strikes. So unlike the level change where we moved out of the way of our opponent's jab throughout the vertical plane, we've actually redirected their attack across the horizontal plane. Now that's going to let us move straight through that plane safely and get to the clinch. So our opponent's 10 and 2, his flashlight is aimed off in this direction, whereas our own is aimed right on him. So it's an angular advantage we've created there by using our parry, enabling us to move from the open position into the clinch. That's a wrap on the open position. Make sure you get your head around these concepts because every fight starts here. Make sure you check out lesson 3 next, where we're going to cover the clinch. Rocky Balboa. Yeah, I got to fight like Rocky Balboa.